the entire bag while I was asleep. Woke me up at like maybe 3 in the morning, just full of energy. And in case you don't know, both chocolate and coffee beans are toxic to dogs. The bag I thought was safely secured out of her reach. She's never gotten up on top of the counter before. They were in another bag on the counter, but I have been practicing this seek game with her. So she uses her nose more, and my goodness, did that backfire. She is fine. She passed all the beans. I checked. But she wasn't going to the bathroom at home. And so obviously I was really concerned. I'm supposed to be getting ready for Thanksgiving. But since I'm out here already, she always goes to the bathroom out here first thing. Like as soon as I open the car door, she jumps out, runs over, squats, and does her business. So I figured the best way to get her to go was to bring her out here. Yeah, everything's looking real, starting to be really wintry. It's November 18th. Yeah, November 18th, it's Saturday. We're expecting 4 feet of snow between Wednesday and Thanksgiving Day. So that's a lot of snow. Ouch. Ouch. Good girl. And my mom's coming, so I really have to get my house clean. But you know, anytime I come out here, I have to at least do one thing. I also found a metal file. I'm not sure if I told you guys about the whole metal file fiasco. I found one in like where I turn the water on to wet down the leaves and water my crops and stuff. And so I asked my dad if I could have it. He said yes. He didn't even know it was there. It was covered in rust, and I told him I'd fix it up for him and return it after I was finished with it. And he said that was fine. So I put it in the wheelbarrow, and then I brought it up to the barn and filled my wheelbarrow, and I had taken it out of the wheelbarrow before I started putting manure in it so that it wouldn't get covered in manure. I remember that very distinctly because I put it on the side, and when I took it out, it hit the side of the thing. It was very loud, scared Ziggy. It was dark, and I don't know where I put it. And both my dad and I have been looking for it. It's not the end of the world. Again, he didn't even know that it was there, so it's not like he's going to be missing it, but it still would be nice to have. So anyways, I found another file. It's actually smaller, so it'll be a better fit for the tin cans that I'll be using it for. And, ma'am, you want me to take it or you don't want me to take it? Okay, she wants me to take it. Oh, somersault. But she's feeling much better. She's got this is a normal level of energy. After she ate all those espresso beans, it was a long night. There was very little sleep. I tried to just lock her in the kitchen so that I could get some sleep, because I figured if there was something wrong, I would have to drive her about an hour to 4 hours away to the closest emergency vet. We used to have a conglomerate of vets that all grouped together, and they would take turns being on call, and they don't have enough vets to keep that together anymore. So they had to stop doing that, offering that service. So the closest emergency vet is an hour away, and I didn't want to be trying to drive an hour with no sleep if I did have to take her to the emergency vet. Sometimes they don't even have room for patients that aren't in their area, so then the next closest is 4 hours away. So I figured worst case scenario, I get 3 more hours of sleep, she hopefully is less hyper, and if she did show signs of like toxicity, then I would be able to drive her down to the emergency bed the next day. And she's fine. Anyways, I had her locked in the kitchen, and she had figured out how to get over one gate that lets her into the living room, but she didn't know how to get over the other gate that let her into the hallway. Well, she, in a caffeine-fueled rage, figured that out last night, of course. So she just kept gutting over the gate and coming up and waking me up and wanting to play and bite me, and much more high energy than normal Ziggy. So it was a rough night. Anyways, I'm just gonna finish unloading this load of manure on a paper bag. I'm gonna show that to you guys. I'm gonna turn you around so you'll be down that way this time. Looking at the road, it's not as pretty, but the sun is like right there, I think. So I don't think it's gonna be as good of a view. Let's see. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It'll be alright. Alright, so I'm gonna go get my paper bag. Always helping. I forgot my rake, so I'm gonna have to do it by hand. Good thing I have gloves, and they're waterproof gloves. I'm just picking up, like I made this a little bit thicker than I really decided I need it to be. I'm just picking up big chunks and weighing that down. Exactly where it's at. She knows exactly what she's doing. that's about as good as we're gonna get today. I'm gonna go home and clean my house. I'll do a little bit of training with Ziggy because we want to get her back so she can walk on a leash again in town. Winter is coming and I won't be able to make it out here every day to exercise her. So we will have to do more walks on leash. I did have her trained pretty well to walk on leash, and somebody whom I love very much likes to use those retracto leashes, which in my personal opinion only encourage dogs to pull like maniacs. And that's exactly what it did. So now I have to retrain her to not pull on a lead. So I came here to practice too, without a lot of distractions for her. Other dogs, people, cars, that kind of thing. So we're gonna work on that for a little bit. Alright, so today I did my outside chores. I came back and I am cleaning. Oops. I accidentally shut the gate in the kitchen. Sorry, Cleo. Ziggy, you be nice. We don't need this anymore. You be nice. Ziggy is good with the cats most of the time. She cuddles with Cleo in bed at night, and that she thinks that means during the day she can play with Cleo, but she does not understand that Cleo is only ever interested in cuddling and never interested in the type of play that Ziggy is interested in. So, I finished my outside chores, and I'm back here getting ready for Thanksgiving. But I've gotten myself distracted because I found this big mess, and I know that if I don't do it now, it'll never get done. So my kitchen is like half cleaned. But this is a zinnia head. And this pile of stuff is the seeds. It takes a little bit of effort to get the seeds out so I can plant them next year. Now this one is just a mix that I planted in my garden at home. But I'm very interested to see what it will look like next year. So I'm saving these seeds. I don't think I'm gonna be planting these to sell. If they turn out nice, I will put them in bouquets and stuff, but so what I'm doing is I'm just all these little slivery things just kind of peel right off. So I'm just doing that, peeling them off. These ones are gonna be way too small, I think. Yeah, there's nothing in the ones at the top don't really have any seeds in them. They look like this. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? So that's our discard pile right there. Here's one. This is here. This is a zinnia seed. Can you see it? I'll shut that door again. I don't know what the trick is to getting cameras to focus. There we go. So this is a zinnia seed. Looks like a little arrow. That one's going in the jar. These are way too small to save, so I'm just not gonna save them. But in each individual little like slivery thing is a seed. So here's a seed in the jar. So I'm just sorting through this pile, sliding off the sheath and popping the seeds in the jar. This could take all night, who knows? It's a very time-consuming process. And then what I'll do is put a desiccant packet in. See, it's like in this little shiny thing. You see the shiny? Can you see the shiny? It's focusing on my thumb. It wants you to focus on my thumb. And you just slide that off. Feels like a little piece of ribbon. Some of them, as you take the head apart, will just naturally fall out of the little sheath. I'm gonna put a desiccant packet in there, and then I'll put it in my basement in my flower area for the winter. And then when I go to plant my warm season flowers, I will start them and we'll see what we've got. I might also just scatter some in the garden like I did this year. It turned out really well. The birds, I don't know if birds like them, but pollinators really like them. I'm going to do the same thing with my calendula, and I'll show you how I save seeds for that. These aren't like a patented seed or anything. It's just from like, it's like a shaker mix of seed, like pollinator mix. So it's not like anybody's going to be upset. That one had oil on it. This is what I was originally keeping them in. It's the lid to like a, it's the lid to a like oil spray that you would use for cooking spray. There we go. And some of the seeds got a little bit of oil on them, so I'm not keeping those ones. As you can see, there are a lot of seeds, so it's not like I can be picky about which ones I keep, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to save every single one, because that would just be ridiculous and be way too time consuming. But yeah, I'm gonna do this for a little bit. This is just like a jar that I washed. It was like, I don't know, pickles or something. It wasn't pickles. It was a jar for, oh, I think it was olives, an olive jar. I washed it in the dishwasher and sterilized it, and then let it really, really get completely dry. Not like wiped with a paper towel dry, like completely dried. You don't want any moisture at all in your storage containers for your seeds, because that will ruin them. That's why I'm like not keeping any of the ones that have oil on them. Like the smallest bit of moisture will kill your entire thing. And the amount of effort that I put into saving these seeds, I do not want it to be a waste of time. So it's important to be very careful. I'm one of those people that if you tell me something is going to be fine, I automatically assume that it will not be, because if you're assuming something will be fine, then you're not assuming what risks, like you're not thinking about what risks there could be. So I would rather have somebody tell me, so like here's the things that could go wrong, and then I can think about it and assess whether or not it's something that I consider to be an acceptable risk. And your seeds getting moisture in them, in my personal opinion, is not an acceptable risk. So I will not be doing that. Okay, I'm going to do this for a while.